Practical Joke by Kegan Wildman Windle. Sivan 1, May 31st, 5782, 2022, 7:24 p.m. Today I had an interview with CWSI in Hollywood, which is only less than 10 minutes from where I stay. The previous 13 days I had been on a water-only fast. It was a great challenge, and very much worth it. I promised Yahuwah that I would break my fast only after officially being promised a job. I believe that it was only about 7 days or so into my fast that I had filled out many applications and dropped them off around town. I had one brief meeting with a guy at Hubcap Heaven. He talked to me for a short amount of time and told me the boss lady would call me in an hour. She didn't. Another guy had me drive all the way to Coral Springs. Before heading out, I had asked him a few questions to see if I wasn't wasting any of his time or mine. It was a moving company that needed a sales rep in a phone room. I was ready to do it, but I told him that I was an ethical salesman. He gave me an emphatic reply saying, "Yes, that's what we need. That's what we're all about." The ad also stated that the candidate didn't need any experience, but sales experience is preferred. Another benefit would be that if I worked there past the probationary period, that I would have the opportunity to work from home. That would be ideal because Coral Springs is a long drive from Hollywood Beach. When I got there, the hiring manager, Andrew, sat down with me in the conference room. I had to hold my hand out for him to shake it because he was about to sit down before doing so. He asked me about my experience and I gave him the rundown, starting from my first job with Dad at LED Corporations, to door-to-door sales, to debthelper.com, where I really paid my dues for 4 years. I painted the most accurate portrayal of myself as a hard worker and a versatile and adaptable salesman. Near the end, I saw that his arms were crossed, and there appeared to be a Bible in front of him on the table. I was talking about being in the nonprofit sector and how the experience taught me how to do sales in an ethical way, and how I began to learn empathy and great virtues that any business would love to hire in a candidate, because that's the company I thought I was interviewing with. I also mentioned the Bible and pointed at his, that I read it every day, and how I memorized whole chapters of it. "This isn't a Bible. I write a lot. It's a notepad." I was taken aback. It had the same look as a Bible with lacy bookmarks, one gold and the other red. A lot of Bibles have these types of silk strings for the Old and New Testament. The New Testament has red letters for Yeshua when he's quoted. It wasn't a huge leap of the imagination to think that was a Bible on the table. I tried to joke. "What? Why did you bring a decoy Bible to our interview, brother? You can't be doing that to me, man." He actually chuckled, but then he got serious and said, "Look, you obviously are good, but I have one problem with you. You have no experience." Now I was taken aback further. The Craigslist ad said that no experience was necessary. I actually believed I was going to be able to get this job today and subsequently be able to break my fast. I asked him what he meant. "You have no experience with moving companies. I only have one chair left, and I need it to be filled with someone who has experience. I can't hire someone that needs a lot of hand-holding." I was flabbergasted. If you worked at one call center, you worked them all. He was obviously sending me down the road because I mentioned that I believed in not bending the truth to make a sale, because that's where he started to cross his arms. There was a faint impression in my mind that this was the case, but when I saw what I supposed was a Bible, I thought subconsciously I could reverse whatever was troubling him about the interview. "What more do I need to learn here, Mr. Andrew?" He dodged this question. "We don't have room for you." I mentioned the owner's name, Diego, the guy who told me to come on down with whatever experience I had based on the reasons we agreed to before I was going there. "If I were on the phone with you, I wouldn't have told you to come in." "Can I see him?" "No, that wouldn't be a good idea." I was pretty upset, but level-headed. "Well, I drove all the way here and wasted time and gas money. I'm sure you'll fall forward on the ground." He sounded bone-chillingly heartless. I looked at him. There was no life in him. Retrospectively, I don't know what this sentence is supposed to mean. It doesn't even sound like a consolation. People fall forward on the ground all the time and become crime scene investigations. What was this Andrew meaning to convey? I got up, and I don't believe it was the best way I could have responded to him. You know there's a God, right? There was a slight nervous hesitation that was barely perceptible in his eyes. I caught it, though. Yes. Yes. Well, you aren't doing so good. I walked out of the glass conference room he led me out of. That was cold, brother. Yeshua would not do that. Yeshua is love. When I got in my car, I hurriedly tried to find the number for Diego, the owner. The following is a record of our text exchange. Diego, I drove all the way here for an interview from Hollywood just to be told that you're looking for someone that is not advertised on your Craigslist ad. Him, you said you had sales experience. I told Andrea as such, and yet there seems to be a misunderstanding. I'm still here. Him, no idea, but if he said no, then I'm sure there was a reason. Trying to type as fast as I could on my flip phone now. Well, I have several years or more sales experience with a few different industries. Him, well then maybe that's not why he chose not to offer you the job. His reason was that I have no experience in your particular industry. Him, doubtful. My apologies, it didn't work out. Finally realizing who these people represent, I laid the issue to rest with some simple advice. If you are looking for someone with experience within a niche industry such as moving companies, please advertise that. And I'm sorry it didn't work out too. I drove away mildly frustrated and asked Yahuwah forgiveness for being a little upset. On top of all of this, I would have to continue my fast.